The daily go get mism show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing. We taking off fast lane, no coast in, and everything is going to be all right. Talking about your first baby mom tonight. Yeah, well, y'all. I know it's late, but I'm like, look, I get off late all this week, but I'm still gonna do a show anyway. Whether y'all here or not, maybe y'all catch it later, whatever the case may be, but we still gonna do it. So if some of y'all out there, wake up, get this notification, come on through. But I wanted to talk about tonight. I wanted to talk about when your first baby mom already has kids. When your first baby mom already has kids, like even though it may not sound like it or seem like it by a lot of the evidence that we see as time plays out, a man having a child for the first time or fathering a child for the first time is a big deal to a man. It's a very, very scary moment. I remember when my daughter's mom was pregnant with my daughter and realizing like, yo, this is really going to happen. Like there's no turning back. Ain't gonna be no termination of pregnancy or nothing like that. This baby is coming, and the baby is coming. The baby is mine, and here we go. A young man, especially a young black man, already has a lot on his plate by the time he spreads his seed for the first time. So more than likely, he's haunted on a regular basis by maybe growing up without a father or even a father figure. So he's wondering if he's going to be able to get it right. And then you start thinking about the time and dedication that it takes to be able to raise a child effectively and the financial costs that are associated. And one thing is for sure, we become familiarized with the financial costs even before it's a child support issue or before we're even talking about what the baby needs. We already know that even the prenatal stuff starts to take money out of your pocket. So as the baby comes and as it grows, you're going to have to keep up with the expenses of just raising a child. That's clothes, food, shelter, recreation, education, all of the things that come along with trying to raise a child to be well adjusted. And being well adjusted is something that every man, I think, is associated or wants to be associated with when they're raising their children. So when you have your first child and you're not having it by someone who is having their first child, it shakes up things a little bit. It shakes up things a lot, because we can talk about the good, the bad, and the unknown. I don't know about the ugly. Well, we can talk about the ugly too, but let's talk about the good, the bad, and the unknown. The good thing about possibly fathering a child, fathering your first child by a woman who already has a child or has children, is that you already get a chance to see what type of mother she is. You get to see how she raises her child. You get to see how patient she is with her children. If she's just a big spoiler, or if she's the type that will spend a lot but won't spend a lot of time. Is she the type that is a nurturer? Is she the type that is a teacher? Is she the type that knows how to help with homework or teaching just regular things leading up to academic things? You get a chance. You get a chance to see what is going to be in store for your child when you witness your baby mom already interacting with her children. And there's only so much she's going to be able to fake it. If she's not a good mother, you're going to know. And that's not to say that a lot of men didn't know that their baby moms weren't good moms going in. So when we start talking about what the expectations are for a man who is a first time father with a woman who already has kids, now we're starting to talk about expectations. We're starting to talk about what priorities may be. You know, every man wants, and listen, y'all can call this selfish, you can call it whatever you want. Every man wants his children to be prioritized over anybody else, anybody and everybody else. It's a natural thing. It's not like, he's just selfish or out of line because he's thinking that way, because women think the same way. Who wouldn't want their bloodline to be at the very least treated fairly? But shoot, if you want to make sure that you treat them with a little bit more, favor or superiority or whatever, we ain't gonna fight against it. We know all too well how it goes when your child doesn't receive the love and attention, the education, the guidance, the leadership that he or she may require. We know far too well what that's like, even with us growing up, or if we're talking about our people that we know or our own children. So when your baby mom, when your first baby mom already has children, you do have the advantage of knowing or being able to get a good snapshot of what the mother of your child is going to be like towards your child. So you're going to see if there's fairness. Does she balance out things with her own children? Does she always put her children first or above one another? Because this could be a situation where your first baby mom already has 3 or 4 children by 3 or 4 men. And although initially people may frown on that and look down on that and judge that, whatever way they're going to judge it, it happens, and that's their business. That's the business of the mother and the fathers that were involved. We weren't there. We don't have any say so. But as brand new fathers, um, dealing with a woman who was about to be a new mother to our children, we had a chance to either put that in motion, or we had a chance to shut it down. And evidently we chose the option to get involved, get into it, and get involved. These puzzle pieces right now, we gonna solve, baby. So that's how it's going down on the Daily Go Getimism show. Yeah, when your first baby mom already has kids, will your child be treated fairly? Will your child be pushed to the top of the food chain? Will your newborn baby be given precedence and priority over the children who may be able to take care of themselves a lot more than a newborn baby will? So will this newborn baby receive the care, the love, the care, time, and attention that it deserves and that it will require? Will that happen? Now, you may say that it's definitely going to happen on your half, on your side. Yeah, you may be ready to ensure that your child is always, if they're not number one, they're somewhere between 1 and 3. In other words, 1 or 2. That's it. So but some men who have children, who have their first child by a woman who already has children, may expect some things from a woman that she may not be willing or even ready to deliver. So those are things that you have to take into consideration also. Are you expecting somebody to do something bigger than what they can deliver naturally on their own and by themselves? Do they even believe in parenting the way that you want your child to grow up? I mean, it's something that many of us do not take into consideration. You know, people have children by each other all the time without getting to know each other. So they may not have ever talked about or what religion, if any religion, that the child is going to follow. Um, what schools they're going to go to. You would be surprised at how many people do not involve the other parent in this process. Schools that they're going to go to. Is it okay for them to spend the night over somebody's houses? Is it safe? Have you gone ahead to somebody's house to make sure that it was in good physical and emotional condition for your child? Now, that's not to say that you can police everybody, but just like you would know if it was safe to send your child to your mom's house, to your brothers or your sisters' houses, or your aunts or your uncles and cousins and things like that, you would know who to trust. So why? Uh-oh. Oh, oh, my lights went out. Oh man. Oh man. Hold on. I don't know if it blew. No, I didn't blow. Come on. Not now, god darn it. There we go. All right. We got the light back. We got the light back. Yeah. All right. You know, if the lights are unbalanced on one side, then it causes this big shadow. It causes this big shadow. So you can see my shadow. But anyway, so yeah. Yeah, if you're having a baby if you're having your first child by a woman who already has children, then more than likely you're paying close attention to how she's raising her children, and you're wondering how yours is going to blend into that family. Like, what's going on? You know, but you'd be amazed at how many people do not have these types of conversations before they decide to copulate and conceive children with each other. Religion, education, um, um, how much how much discipline or in what forms of discipline your child should receive. It's not a small thing. It's not a small thing. If you are the type of person who comes from a family where spankings or even beatings, whoopings, and whatever are allowed or even encouraged, and you're dealing with somebody who doesn't believe in putting their hands on their children, they believe more in a gentler, a psychological approach. See, now the two of you aren't on the same page, and more than likely that's going to be highlighted when it comes to dealing with your children. Because I mean, what do you think? The child is going to gravitate more towards the one that's prone to violence, or the one that's not? That's pretty much a no-brainer. But that's something that you should have decided when you decide to have children with somebody. And it's never too late to have that conversation. It's never too late to have that conversation. You know, whether that child is a newborn, and then you better not be you better not be acting violent towards no newborn baby. This is not the internet, but actually it is the internet, but you know what I mean. But yeah, um, yeah, those are things that could really make parents start to butt heads. You know, child protective services may have to come in. If imagine if you were never raised to to receive spankings or anything like that, and you're dealing with somebody who believes in the switches, the belts, the shoe, the extension cord, the slipper, whatever. If y'all are on the same page when it comes to things like discipline, it can be a problem. And for a man having his first child, he may be very protective of that child. So imagine you a man and you're having your first child by a woman who already, be beating her kids, or putting them over her knee, or making them strip, and she can whoop that ass. And listen, like one big episode of Good Times, bragging all the time about whoopings and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, that could be a problem. Because here's the thing: when you only have one child, all your eggs are in that one basket. And we know how mothers, young mothers, or new mothers feel about when they only have one child. They don't want nobody putting their hands on their child. They don't want nobody doing nothing to their child. Now, I ain't saying all moms, because there are exceptions to this rule like crazy. But, for the most part, you know what I'm saying? Like, new parents normally have a big stake in trying to protect their children from anybody who would harm them, whether it's in a form of punishment, or whether, no matter what it is. So let's say you don't want to spank your child. You rather try something else that you've read, or something else as an alternative to being violent with your child. And you're dealing with a woman who is a beater. Y'all gonna be bumping heads like crazy. Or the other way around, you might be a beater and she may not be. So here it is, you already ready to twist your firstborn child up, and your baby mom is like, no, you ain't gonna put your hands on my child. No, you're not. I don't know what you think this is, but it ain't going down like that. So now, the baby mom and the baby dad is battling over how a child should be raised, and one may be telling the other that they better not put their hands on the child. And now y'all separated. She might be on her joint like, I ain't hit none of my kids. I don't have to hit none of my kids, and I'm not gonna hit this one either. And neither are you. Not when I'm around. What up, Queen Monica? What up, Care Bear? Thanks for coming through, y'all. Monica says, we still see and hear you. That's what's up. Oh, you must be talking about when I was talking about the lights. That's what's up. But yeah, when your first baby mom already has kids, she looking at you like, look, I've been doing this. Baby. Like, you got to learn. Maybe I can school you on how a father is supposed to be, how a dad is supposed to be. Listen, one thing about being a parent that is easy to forget is that when you become a parent for the first time, or anytime, your skin has to toughen up. You have to develop a tough skin. All that sensitivity, getting your feelings hurt by what people say and how they act, and their treatment of you, including your own children. You have to learn how to toughen up. And we was talking about punishment. That's why a lot of parents are physically tough on their kids, because their sensitivities have not been dealt with. Just being real, just from a psychological standpoint, parents who have not, gone through counseling, or were never raised to be able to express themselves and all of that, a lot of times they don't want anybody expressing themselves to them. So it's like, believe that kids should be seen and not heard, and all of those old cliches that our elders told us about or whatever. But yeah, yeah. At the root of a lot of that, now, I ain't saying every case is the same, but at the root of a lot of those situations are parents who really can't deal with adversity, not just from the kids, but probably from work, from just being an adult. Anywhere they go, they're not used to being criticized, and they're afraid that they're going to get criticized, so they try to raise their kids in a way that they will never criticize them, or they going to terrified of that ass, terrified of that ass. And parents might not, both parents may not be on the same page with that, and it can get ugly these days. It can get very, very ugly these days. So yeah, it's a little tough. It's a little tough when your first baby mom already has children, but it doesn't always become an issue or a problem. Many times, having children by a woman who already has children might be a thing that you have chosen for yourself, because you already saw how she interacts with her children. Maybe she's very attentive, maybe she's very, very smart, maybe she's very social with her children, maybe she has a way of hypnotizing them, or has a way of being able to tap into their desires, or maybe she has a way of reaching children or whatever, in a way that will allow her to have a harmonious relationship with her children. And the kids act right. The kids might act right without having to be given any act right. Shout out to all the badass kids out there that they might be bad but not bad all the time. You ever know some kids that are bad. They do bad stuff. They get into to all kinds of crazy stuff, but they're not consistently bad. They're not intrinsically bad. They're not evil on the inside. They just man, like Dennis the Menace. He was never a bad kid, but he was a bad kid at the same time. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But you know, shout out to people who got mean spirited ass kids. Them devil children, them devil children, them devil. You know how some kids, their curiosity gets them into all kinds of hot water because they touching stuff. They trying to find out how certain things work. They pull things apart, broken things, just trying to figure out how things work. Those are the good kids to me. The bad kids, damn, them the ones who are already jealous at a young age, or don't like to share at a young age. And that's another thing that you have to think about when your first baby mom already has kids. Her pre-existing kids, I'm talking about like big cars. You understand what I mean? Pre-owned kids. But yeah, if it's a situation where the children and the mom have this really strong bond, and there hasn't been any man who has come between them, and here you come, they've been giving you problems since day one, because their father may already be in their lives, or they may not have ever seen or been around their dad, so they don't know what it's like to have a real man around the crib, or even a man that's trying to develop into a real man. And so they might be poking fun at you, and this is one of those things where you see if the woman that you chose to have children by, or a child by, knows how to control her children. Because any woman that will allow her young children to disrespect adults, tease adults, be reckless with the tongue, does not teach them that they have to be tactful and not just blurt out the first thing that comes to their mind. If you're dealing with a woman who make sure that she ties up those loose ends, then good for you. But you might be dealing with a woman who doesn't. And so here you are staring down the barrel of a selfish gun with her children, and then now you might be looking at your own child who picks that up, who's going to pick that up from his or her siblings, and now you're dealing with the same situation. You just never know. But when your baby ma, just never know. But when your baby just never know. But when your tummy grow and you about to have 9 months, baby, yo. Well, let's see. Care Bear says, my thing is, don't bring someone around your kids whose ideals don't align with yours. Well, that's true. But that's true. But the thing is, we're talking about a man who's becoming a father for the first time. So this is unfamiliar territory for him out the gate. He don't know how to be nobody's dad. He just became a dad. He a fresh dad. You know what I'm saying? He still got that label on him. You know how, like, when you buy a TV or a major appliance and they got that sticker on there that shows you how much you're going to save every year or every month or whatever through energy bills or whatever. Energy bills. That means lights. But you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So, the confusing thing for a brand new father that wants to be a good father, that may not have the examples of having good men around, or really positive influences around. Yeah. You know, shout out to all of the young husbands and young fathers who had to borrow, their woman's or their spouse's dad, you know, as they old head. They may not have had a good old head where they could draw wisdom from, you know the old heads. They may not have had an old head. Not everybody has a good old head. Some people have they old heads ain't right. you know Encouraging you to spend all your money, be reckless with your dick, um, um, uh, uh, fostering or encouraging violence, towards other men and all that. Some people old heads ain't really right. You might mess around and get an old head like Donald Trump. Yeah, he can show you how to make a couple of dollars, but what he can't do is show you how to be a decent person. What he can't do is show you how to be a patient person. What he can't do is show you how to be a tactful person, how to be somebody who thinks before they say something, who thinks deeply before they say something. He can't do that. Anyway, let me get off my soapbox with that. I said, let me get off my soapbox with that. But there are plenty of young men out here who were going with girls or married the girls or whatever, married the women, and their woman's dad took them under their wing. Which, when you really think about it, there should be way more of that these days than there is. But because so many men are absent in the home, but yeah, there should be a man at home, saying, well, listen, you're going to make sure that you treat my daughter right, or your daughter, your niece, your cousin, whatever. Like, just know that I love that girl very much, and I will not tolerate anybody, making her feel bad about herself, or you may just be ready to shut it down. Like, look, I know you did a couple of good things, but now it's time to show improve. Show improve. But yeah, so having a baby, having your first child, I ain't talking about your second, third, fourth child by somebody else that already has 2, 3, 4, 5 children. I'm talking about this is your first child ever. This is your firstborn child. Glory to the newborn king. So make sure y'all hit the like button, y'all. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. We about to get on up out of here though. But I just want to drop this on y'all, on the late night tip. We're gonna be back tomorrow with the same old late night start time all this week, and actually indefinitely. I'll be getting off pretty late. So look for me after midnight. So whatever day this is, we gonna meet up the next day. Like we were supposed to start this show on the 8th, but we ended it on the 9th, and we ain't even started to the 9th. It be like that sometimes. It be like that sometimes. But when all your eggs when all your firstborn eggs are in this basket, she already got kids. She already been raising kids. She ain't trying to hear none of that advice you giving. This is your first child, and it's hers too. She may just let you know in that way. She may let you know in that way that she got this. She been doing this. So let's cut the BS. Get your weight up, father first. Get your weight up, father first. I will be your father figure. Put your tiny hand in mine. I will always be there for you till the end of time. Rest in peace. What was his name? Wake me up before you go wham. Oh shit. I can't. What was it called? What's his name? We all know his name. What was his name? Careless Whisper guy. George Michael. Thank you. Thank you, Care Bear. George Michael. Rest in peace, George Michael. Rest in peace, short shorts. If you know, you know. All right, let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious January 8th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and make it feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box. Celeste Atkins turning 53 years old today, and also Audrey Smith turning 60 years old today, and Maricar Perez La Loca. Happy birthday to you, and also Pia Lang, turning 46 years old today, and Daisy Deaton turning 51 years old today, and last but not least, my man going all the way back to 7th grade at 1982. My man Owen Rogers, and his mom was the math teacher. She was the math teacher. Mom was the math teacher. Miss Rogers. Rest in peace to you. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious January 8th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out. Rock on and do the damn rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. I said, great things happen to those who grind. I said, and anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, listen, when you are having your first child, sir, Now I could have talked about women who have gotten pregnant for the first time or having their first child by a man who already has kids. But I think even though we can do that at another time, and maybe we'll do that tomorrow night, I think we all know very well how that goes. I might not be able to tell y'all nothing about that scenario because y'all know. You know what I mean? You know that men be having baby, baby having baby. He got a baby. He got a daughter and a son. We know about at least one, but found out 2 or 3 is. But it's not always. It's not always like that. It's a little different when a man is having his first child by a woman who already has children. A lot of times men start off with women who are at 0 also. Not all the time though, because I've seen men. But see, if we're talking about your first child, that's the difference. We're not talking about, the times, the situations I know where a woman already has 6 kids or 7 kids, and he goes and adds on an 8th, a 7th or 8th, but that ain't his first child either. So we ain't talking about that, but we talking about when a man has his first child, like your first baby mom already had 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. She done caught you out there, made you go, and when the baby is coming, can't wait. I said the baby is coming, she late. Yeah, the baby coming and she won't be bumming. She gonna be real spoiled. You know that the toil. Yeah. All right. All right. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, and so, love is I said a love is I said peace.